Welcome to Connected, coming from our Toowoomba studio. Thanks for joining us on the show today. We're going to have a chat to Margaret Turnbull from the Empire Theatre. Also have a chat to Giddy House from the Toowoomba Language and Culture Festival, and some great jazz music. But first, let's check out what's happening in town.
One of Australia's most in-demand comedians, Ahmal, will be performing at the Edens Hill Hotel this Friday and Saturday evening. The Egyptian-born Ahmal has appeared on numerous Australian television shows and has also appeared hosting national radio programs, showcasing his trademark comedic style. The 2013 Brisbane Emerging Art Festival is set to showcase some of the most outstanding visual, art, music, performance, fashion and film currently being developed in Brisbane. For one night only, this annual event will celebrate Brisbane's emerging arts sector at the Judith Wright Centre of Contemporary Arts. That's Saturday, July 27. North Stradbroke Island will again be the backdrop for the 6th Stradbroke Chamber Music Festival, which runs this upcoming weekend. A large range of players, including strings, pianists, singers, songwriters and poets, will all be showcased at a variety of locations on the island. Be sure to check out their website for more details on what you can expect to see this year. The Best of Brisbane Parade, run by the Treasury Casino, is again set to showcase 4 local leading fashion labels. The event, to be held on Friday, July 26 from 7:30pm, will showcase a large range of styles, trends and new ideas. And Planet Ark's National Tree Day is on this Sunday, July 28, at various planting locations across southeast Queensland. Be sure to visit their website for your nearest location and see how you can help them plant over 1 million new trees, shrubs and grasses this year. Don't forget to stay connected through our website and Facebook page for more events.
My first guest has been involved in theatre over a number of years, and she is currently head of school in the creative arts. She is Associate Professor Janet McDonald. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Such a big intro, and such a wonderful lady to tell us all about the creative arts here at USQ. And so when we look at the creative arts, Janet, how relevant is it for today's market?
I think extremely relevant. I get asked this all of the time. Parents ask me and students ask me, why do I need to get a degree in creative arts? Why can't I just go and do that? Well, you can. You can go and do all kinds of classes and make your own art in your studio and exist that way if you want to. But if you really want to grow into it and you really want to develop and sustain a practice that's going to be important to the regional area that you might live in, and I'm speaking specifically from a regional perspective today, is that you need that training to help you understand how the networks work, help you understand how to apply for grants, how to reflect upon your practice and work as a practicing artist, and how to give back to communities as well.
So would you say though, Janet, that people come certainly with that creativity within them, but that in that sense the degree helps to shape those skills and abilities they have naturally? Absolutely,
and we have a lot of people come and audition to say that they want to look at this and they want to look at that, but when we get a chance to look at them, we can better diagnose where their strengths are and give them mostly a more fulfilling pathway through the degree. That's what auditions are for. We don't use OPs to actually look at students coming out of high school, for example.
There must be a great opportunity though for students, because many times, particularly creative art students, in the sense that school starts becoming a little tedious, doesn't it, by the time you get to 11 and 12, if it doesn't have those programs built into it. So it can become very hard. So the OP can work against you. So this is a really great opportunity.
Sometimes it can, and as I always remind parents and students, the OP is not an IQ. It's not an IQ test. It doesn't say that you are this bright and you can only do this. It's a quota. What it does is generate a quota score, this OP number that allows you to get access into particular courses, in Queensland. So it's a good way to do that, to provide access through QTAC, but it's not actually a good way to measure anybody's creativity. And it's not just creativity that comes in, it's management skills, and it's being organised, and it's being on time, and it's being reliable and resilient, and all of those kinds of skills that you can actually teach people to do. And that's what we aim to do, a holistic kind of degree where students can concentrate on one particular area, and out of 24 courses, say that they have to do inside the degree. They can do up to 20 courses in music or in theatre, or up to 16 in creative media or in visual arts. And that gives them a real taste for their particular field, because they're exposed to industry professionals, they're exposed to people from Brisbane and from Goma and from Queensland Theatre Company and from the Empire Theatre and all of these places that are here to help us provide industry contacts and industry professionalism to anchor what it is that we do inside the degree. So yes, you do need some innate abilities, but for some students they're latent. They might be extremely creative in one area and end up going through the degree and finding out they're actually creative in several areas.
Thanks for your time for telling us that, because it really has been a great insight in the sense of what the degree really provides, and we appreciate your time today.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Janet
much.
McDonald. And after the break, we'll check out the fabulous Empire Theatre. Stay connected. Welcome back. Our team visited one of Toowoomba's finest performing arts venues. It is the Grand Empire Theatre.
I'm Margaret Turnbull. I have worked at the Empire Theatre basically ever since the theatre was opened in 1997, June 1997 to be precise. I was quite a bit involved in the, I suppose you might say, conflict that endured for about 12 months before as to whether we would open the theatre or pull it down, and I was quite heavily involved in that. So it was very satisfying to me to be here on opening night, and has been ever since, to be working there for the last 16 years.
Was this when there was that big fire that burnt it down?
No, the fire was actually in 1933. So the fire was at the original building, which is quite different to this one, and then in that same year they rebuilt it in this Art Deco style. So the fire was the 1911 version of the building.
Oh, wow. Some of the biggest productions you've had over the years?
It's hard, from a technical point of view, probably the biggest production we had was Reba McEntire, a country singer from America, who had 3 Pantechnicons worth of gear when she rolled in.
Wow.
They were 3 sold-out shows, but with the number of people you could fit in the theatre, with the cost technically, I think she had a 21-member crew, but it was very exciting.
When you started here in 1997, and then of course over the time till today, what's some of the biggest improvements or changes you've made to the theatre?
I guess we've just improved it all the time. Each year you add different things. You might add better sound equipment, better lighting equipment, more facilities, and we're just about to build another theatre at the back of the church. So it's just continuing sort of progress, I guess you might say. And probably we're all a lot wiser now than what we were in 1997 as well.
Oh, so always growing. And then how has the involvement from the community developed? Like, is there more involvement from school kids? Or
absolutely. I mean, when we opened in 1997, because of all the controversy, half the town really thought that we would be closed in 6 months and really didn't like us. As a person who's lived here all my life, I had people that wouldn't talk to me because I worked here. There was a lot of ill feeling, and it probably took about 4 or 5 years to get rid of all that, but now I think we've probably got 99.9% backing, and there is a tremendous community involvement here. We've just got the local Eisteddfod in. At the moment it's just on its last day today, but yesterday we would have had thousands here, literally, competing in the Eisteddfod, so it's great to see the community.
So it's fair to say that the Empire Theatre is a huge cultural hub of Toowoomba?
I think so, not only Toowoomba really, because we have many people come in from south, west, north, and lots of people from Brisbane as well come here.
Wow. In the near future, what sort of some of the big things coming up for the Empire Theatre?
Oh, it's always hard to say. I mean, just this week we've got Foster and Allen coming on Thursday evening in this theatre, and in the church theatre at the same time we'll have Kate Miller-Hoke. So 2 very different performances running simultaneously. On Saturday evening on the stage we'll have 500 people for dinner for the Careflight Ball, just for something a little bit different. And next Tuesday evening we'll have a simulcast of the Bolshoi Ballet from QPAC in Brisbane. So that'll be exciting as well.
And I read in an article from the local Chronicle in Toowoomba they interviewed, and you said that the engineers have said that the walls still will last for another 400 years or so.
They did indeed. That's the two brick walls on either side of the auditorium here. So they were the original 1911 walls, and they were in the fire, and they were all that was left standing after that fire in 1933. But we've still got them now, and they have indeed told us they'll be good for another 400 years. Long enough for me.
What has it been like for you personally, like working here? Has it?
For me personally, I've always been involved in all things cultural, very involved in Eisteddfods and choral societies and things like that. So it's very exciting for me and very satisfying. I have children that are in the industry, and it's just satisfying for me to see this, and it's satisfying to see all the local children and youths be able to use a facility like this and then go on to bigger and better things.
Well, my next guest is President and Chair of Toowoomba Languages and Culture Festival. It's Giddy House. Welcome, Giddy.
Nice to be here.
Wonderful to have you with us, and particularly good to be able to have a chat about the festival coming up. So what was the inspiration behind getting this festival underway?
Well, this is the 8th year of the festival, and it started with the Modern Languages Teachers Association and the Toowoomba Regional Council Multicultural Development Officer getting together and saying, well, what can we create for the region that showcases the diversity of the place?
I guess a lot of people would sort of tend to look at Toowoomba as a regional centre and perhaps not realise the diversity that's within the place. Is that a fair comment?
Yes, Toowoomba is actually a very diverse place. You know, we have over 170 different ethnic backgrounds represented in Toowoomba. People speak over 111 or 117, some say, languages. So while English is commonly spoken, when people go around, they speak different languages.
So what's the festival really aiming to achieve?
What it does, it gets people out of their shells, because most of the time people just go to work, come home, they don't get the opportunity to meet other people from different backgrounds. So this gives them an opportunity to come out, meet people of their own background, as well as people from other backgrounds, and sort of celebrate and share their culture.
So in sharing the culture, of course, we would think of dance, food, a whole range of activities that would go on. Is that the kind of stuff we could expect to see?
Absolutely. Last year we had over 25 international food stalls. We had food stalls from Persia, China, Korea, Japan, Hungary, Spain, Germany, to just name a few countries, as well as Africa, Philippines, India.
And that's an amazing diversity too of cultural backgrounds and obviously styles of music, styles of food.
Yes, we had over 60 performances last year. And again, performances from all over. You know, we had a Mexican gala a couple of years ago. We also, of course, had the famous haka from New Zealand, which was very popular. But this year we're having an Indonesian spectacular. The school children are performing. They're learning outside the school, so that they're learning new music, new dances from Indonesia, so that they can add to their learning of the language.
Sure. So in terms of the venue dates, just give us the details then, the dates and where to find it and how we find out more.
Okay, it's on the 11th of August, which is a Sunday, and it's from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. And you can find out more about it if you go to the website, tims.org.au.
Okay. So all the details are up there?
All the details are up there.
Okay, so just give us that URL again.
Tims,
and that's
T-I-M-S,
T-I-M-S, yes.
.org.au.
Okay, fantastic. Look, thank you so much for taking time to come in and tell us about the festival, and we wish you every success with it this year.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Giddy House joining me. Well, from town planner to cafe owner, Jay saw the potential in a fabulous venue known as Ground Up.
My name's Jay and this is Ground Up. My day job is a town planner working for Toowoomba Regional Council. It's my first job out of uni, and part of the motivation of that job for me is about creating good spaces for people to enjoy. And so my office is actually just across the way there, and I used to come through this laneway every day to go get lunch, and it was always dead. There was never any people in here, and it was a really deactivated, underutilized space. And so one day I had a light bulb moment and realized, it'd be really cool to create a destination in here, and a cafe seemed like the obvious choice. So enlisted the help of two mates. We got together, did about a year of planning, 4 months of construction, and then opened the doors. We've been open for about 3 months now. It's been a really big success. As you can see, the people really enjoy coming down here, and the critical part for me is we've actually created a destination in a space that was previously dead. It's good for the community. It's really bringing economic development to the CBD. It's good for us because it's a thriving business. We're meeting lots of new people every day. It's good for the people themselves because they really enjoy coming here. It's something new. We're providing a service, and obviously the location is pretty unique as well. So it's an experience that they don't get every day. Fortunately, the Toowoomba CBD has a lot of spaces like this that are underutilized, just waiting to be capitalized on. And I think that Toowoomba has a really bright future ahead of it.
Here at Grand Up, we believe we set the trend for coffee culture here in Toowoomba. We've created something out of nothing which anyone could do. We've just proved that anyone could do this. We're all about a good time, creating an atmosphere, and believe that people that come in here are just family, treat them as family, and they love it. It's great.
Well, we started the jazz club in Toowoomba because there were 3 people. We got together and we were sort of playing at this function, and we said there's no jazz in Toowoomba, no jazz club or anything like this. It was Don Armstrong, a geologist from the University of me, and a guy called Dennis Lavonis. And we thought, well, we'll start a jazz club, and we knew a few of the people who were interested, and we got them involved, and we seemed to get on well. We had this passion for jazz, and that's what we did. We enjoyed it. It was good, and it's still going, which is the great thing. Well, it's grown quite a lot. I think we've got over 100 members right now, but what happened was that we ran the Australian Jazz Convention in 1987. We also played at the Commonwealth Games and at Expo. The Jazz Convention was quite a profitable concern. A lot of work for a lot of us, but it was very good. And it worked very well. We had a couple of overseas artists come in, and from the proceeds of that, we were able to buy the jazz club, the actual premises, from the Apex Club. And we made the inside very atmospheric, put a stage in, good lighting, good sound system, and all that sort of thing. And it worked very well for quite a few years, until we had our last function there on New Year's Eve in 2012. The council asked us all to move out along there, and so we had to move out. And when we left it, it was in quite good condition, but someone set fire to it. We don't know who did it. But they did a good job, because it was totally gutted when we went and had a look at it. So now what we do is we play at the North Toowoomba Bowls Club, and that's on the second Friday and the last Friday of every month. Quite a few other groups have used the jazz club. Jazz Ed was a youth big band that used it, and Jim Miller's big band used it for rehearsals. And there's been quite a few smaller groups that have used it for rehearsing jazz, because really there's nowhere else in town that caters for jazz. And it's been very useful as a community asset, I think, in that regard. I think the future for jazz is good. Well, we've got a jazz society, but it is a minority taste, but I hope it continues to do well. Well, I started to play jazz when I was about 15, and I've been playing ever since. I was a musician in the RAF, and I played in a big band there with Glenn Miller jazz arrangements and all that sort of stuff. And I've always had a passion for jazz music. It swings, it's happy, lively stuff, a lot of it. I like the melodies of that comprise jazz music. But also it's a challenge because it's free. Improvisation is one of the main points, the main aspects of jazz. And that is something which I enjoy. I enjoy the freedom. I've played where I've been restricted just to playing charts, the music. And that's very restricting, but when you can do what you like, it's rather good. So you'll find with jazz musicians, they do have a passion for it. I do, and I enjoy every moment of it.
Well, that's it for today's show. My thanks to Janet McDonald, Giddy House, Margaret Turnbull, Ground Up Cafe and Windy City. To see more, go to thews.connectedtv.com.au. Until next week, stay connected.